Absolutely.
But you know what? It's very satisfactory. But like nothing against like new generation, but a lot of people want to be a white collar worker or lawyer or whatever the fuck, you know. But dude, it's so satisfactory and so fulfilling to work with your hands because you know, I mean, it's very hard, believe me. But you go to the job site in the morning, and when you get done, you're like, you know what? In the morning, that thing was not there, and now it's there because I built it.
You built it, yeah.
Yeah, it feels very nice.
It's tangible. It is tangible. You
Yeah,
know.
so when zombie apocalypse comes, boys, you're gonna need me to roof your shit, you know?
It's the base.
And we have a special guest.
Super special.
Introduce yourself.
Hello, guys. My name is Vladislav Koulikov. Nobody calls me that. People just usually call me Vlad. Nice to meet everybody.
And we have Vlad, and he's a master of sport in Sambo, another martial artist, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Black Belt, also a Judo Black Belt as well, correct?
Yes, Nida.
So you have the holy trinity of grappling, basically.
I do.
Yeah, and he has his own gym in Hewitt, New Jersey, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. And I actually went to your gym not too long ago, and, you know, it was incredible. Great instructor.
Thank you.
What was really interesting is that, you know, you don't just do martial arts. You've also been in movies as well.
Well, movie thing was honestly sheer stretch of luck. The first one, Salt. Yeah, Salt.
Oh, yeah.
The email, and I saw in in attachments I was one of the 12 recipients in that blanket email, and it said something like, "Are you interested yourself, or do you know someone who would be interested to play a Russian wrestler in an upcoming feature movie with Angelina Jolie?" As soon as I read it, I'm like, "Yes, please, I would like that."
Angelina, of course, top of the game.
Yeah. Movie was shot in New York, so casting agency was in New York, right? And I bet you that they just like Googled or researched Russian wrestling, and a bunch of like Karelin pictures and Sambo came through. And most recipients on the emails were other Russian gentlemen. So I came and tried it out, you know, and just by luck nailed it. When I was doing audition, I felt like a total dick because it's easy to act like, you know, that you're in love or happy, and it's fairly easy to portray your trait. But the guy behind the camera, he's like, okay, now you child die. Now you be sad, you know? And that is when I realized I beat more than I could chew. I felt totally inadequate. I felt so weird. And the lady's like, Vlad, you really like look the part. We would like you. Just maybe get like do you have kids? I'm like, yes, I have kids. She's like, well, get a wallet and get picture and look at your kids and like pretend they whatever dying and shit. Yeah, like a totally. I'm trying to look at the picture of my daughters and like not a dry eye, you know. Well, long story short, I nailed it. And what happened to be funny and ironic, there were few scenes that we filmed with me and my on-screen wife, and one scene was a wrestling scene. That's my nature, like fish in water. But because there were too many parts, too many moving parts, meaning like too many athletes around me on the mat, that goddamn scene took forever to film. So I don't know how many times I threw that poor bastard and got rolled over. And the scene that I was like shaking in my pants to film, the one I was supposed to cry, you know, with the baby, that thing was filmed like in 4 takes. My on-screen wife, she was amazing. She stole the scene. I'm like, thank you for being so awesome, you know. And with John Wick, with the first John Wick, what happened? People actually went to Steve's gym, you know, Steve Capper's gym, and they were looking for Russian-speaking sambists, and he's like, "Oh, I know a guy who's got experience, you know." And he bounced them my way, and I think the things worked out again. So that's the extent of me, being on a widescreen.
Weren't you also in I don't know if you would call it, what's that other movie? I forgot.
It was the production. It's one with Al Iaquinta.
Yeah. It never. We only filmed like it's called Sizzler, like the first episode or whatever.
Yeah.
Choke artist. There we go.
Choke artist. I think the webpage. I mean, not the webpage. Facebook page is still up there. It was tons of fun, but unfortunately, it never lifted off the ground. The whole project. I mean.
Yeah. So, I mean, is acting in your future?
Yeah, you're gonna continue?
Nah. So it's like this. A couple times ended up on screen was by sheer luck, but every time I tried, it like failed, you know. And year and a half, maybe a couple of years ago, I spoke to Steven extensively, and the reality of being in a movie business is that I have to be like all in, not
Mm-hmm.
halfway in, and I have
Oh,
hands in too many cookie jars to be whole in. I cannot go to the city and every day, albeit I live only 60 miles away, but it might as well be like a different planet, over here. So no, nothing by design. If it happens, I'll be happy to. So outside of instructional films, no other films intending.
Okay. Well, what other what other cookie jars do you have hands in?
Well, number one, I have a construction business which I had for oh my god, like over 20 years. It came to a point where I can pretty much abandon it at this point, but it's still
Mm-hmm.
to some kind of income, and I still have it going. I don't have a crew; I just do my own little projects. But I used to be pretty big, pretty big company. Obviously, I operate a successful gym with a good grappling program. I teach Sambo, Jiu-Jitsu, and Nogi, kickboxing, kids classes, and I'm involved in all of those pretty much. I mean, I have helpers that help me, but I'm still like the guy behind all scenes. And 3 kids, shooting instructional materials. I have a online library, very much like Marcelo Garcia, Mendes brothers, Keenan, etc., etc. And that takes a lot of effort because you have to supply content pretty much on a weekly basis. And not only do I post technique of the week in my online library, I often make either like a themed big lesson, like 10 ways to finish single leg takedown, or
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I take on pretty comprehensive courses altogether, like 2-on-1. My 2-on-1 course has like 40 techniques altogether: offense, defense, and application on the mat. So that has kept me busy. Plus,
Yeah.
personal improvement. I still did not hang up my competition gi, so to speak, my kurtka, whatever you want to call it, on a hangnail. So I still train pretty hard as well. So all that.
Yeah, I
So
know. Oh, I'm sorry. Just real quick, regarding to your training series, actually, one of your techniques is something that I use pretty commonly.
Oh yeah.
It was, I believe, It was you and Lavelle Marshall, and you were showing. It was Nogi, and you showing like the Harai Goshi, but
Yeah.
it's the one where you sort of have the headlock and then you load their weight onto one leg and then you sweep the leg.
Yes.
I use that all the time and it just works. And I use it gi and no gi. It just works. And
As an instructor, it feels so good to hear that your teachings and your methods are validated. So thank you. I'm happy it helped you.
yeah, it works. It works so well. And it's weird because it's like no one ever, I think, no one ever sees it coming. It seems like a real sort of
Sleeper.
like real simple. Like it's really simple, but it just works. It just works. So thank you for that, for sure.
I'm glad it worked, man. You're very welcome, my friend.
so cowering. My technique is to cower. It's not a strategy. It's not a strategy yet, boy.
It could be. I mean, if he's got a gun, like, do what you got to do.
Wait, I'm curious, Vlad, about your origin story. When I was looking you up, I saw that you're like I guess you can call it, I don't know if you want to say the grappling guy, but a lot of people were giving you credit for combining Sambo and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for that specific style.
Yeah. The idea is not new, you know what I'm saying? Like, there is art of grappling, right, as an umbrella term. So, which is basically martial arts without percussion, right, without strikes. And then, depending on geography, national mentality, and national attitude, so to speak, people choose what's more important. So somehow in jiu-jitsu, they figured at one point they will have to the ground. You know what I'm saying? And usually when it's one-on-one, absolutely yes. So they favor more newaza, right? And in Sambo, we figured, we don't want to go to the ground. We would rather stay standing. That's why you score more if you're standing. And if you do go to the ground, finish as fast as possible, So although those two little things might be not significant to a layperson, but in the world of grappling, they will make entire difference between two sports, so to speak, right? And the idea of fusion was not new, so to speak. Again, Dave Camarillo does that. He does jiu-jitsu and judo. Justin Flores does judo and wrestling, and so forth and so on. And many people, without even trying to create system, intuitively, when they compete in two different arts, like Jason Morris, right? He was mostly for judo as one of the most decorated judokas, but he competed in wrestling, and you see his judo shining in wrestling. But I'm trying to do it like more philosophically, scientifically, so to speak. You know, I try my style to be monolithical, homogenic, like unity, if it makes any sense. Because once you separate art into sports where you favor certain ideas, then certain rules will rise up, and certain rules will promote certain techniques and perhaps prohibit the others. And I think that our strength as humans is in unity versus division, you know? So, yes, I mean, I guess if I have to choose one art, I would have chosen Sambo, but I truly love Jiu-Jitsu. So why do I have to put like blinders on myself where I can put it together? So unity over division, if I may expand a little bit, it's not only in Jiu-Jitsu versus Sambo versus Judo versus wrestling, but in life altogether. Like, for example, people tend to be very tribalistic, very, very tribal. And I don't know if it's a good thing, you know. I mean, tribe survives if it's tribal, but as far as unity, it's not good. Like, I don't believe in Muslims versus Christians. Let's say we both believe in Almighty, so this is something should be uniting us, right? Or races, right? Asians, blacks versus whites. Yes, we're all different, and we should respect that and understand. But in the end, we are members of a human family, you know. Sambo versus judo versus jiu-jitsu, different rules, but it's still grappling. So every time I try to find a commonality and something that unites as opposed to something that divides. So sorry, guys, it was a little bit of
no,
that was amazing.
I mean, you got real like philosophical. You got real philosophical.
I wanted to know a little bit more, I guess, about what got you started, because I specifically got started because I was scared of Edwin bullying me.
Me
so
too.
I recently started. I recently started learning how to wrestle a little bit.
I'm not even a little bit of
I have
a
the
bully.
same origin story. Same
like
origin story.
I could be verbally abusive, but I'm not physically. I don't physically bully anyone. Let's clarify.
We were sick of that when shit, so we worked out.
So I recently started picking it up at the beginning of the pandemic. Edwin's been teaching me a little bit. A little bit before that, I was doing Muay Thai just on and off a lot of years. And I've just been enjoying it a lot more than I guess I thought. But you specifically did not get into Sambo, because of anything like that. I believe your father and your cousin were already involved in the sport. So I guess, do you come from a family of fighters?
Yeah. Yes, family of athletes. My dad will box, wrestle, and did like a strongman type of deal, ripping chains, breaking nails, etc. And my cousin, on mom's side, it was not on my father's side, he was going to technical school, being a welder actually, and he lived in a hostel, a dormitory, whatever you want to. And that's the first time I witnessed like a real MMA, because we'll go in this dingy basement with him, and people will do gi, no gi, freestyle wrestling, some sambo, some judo, some boxing, some everything, man, right? And I was so enamored. Like, I don't have any pivotal story, anything crazy. Like, I did not have ADD. I never struggled from bullies, whatever. I didn't need to increase my focus. It just, I don't know. I always wanted it, and was presented an opportunity. I jumped on it. I stepped on the net, and I love, and I never looked back. Like, I don't have any particular story about bullies. It's just how cookie crumbled for me.
He was like, I don't have a bully story. I am the bully.
I am the bully. Rule number one about Fight Club: don't talk about Fight Club. That sounds amazing, though.
But yeah, so you trained at Sambo 70, and Sambo 70 is like the sort of it's not just a Sambo school, right? They have all sorts of athletics combined with academics. It's basically a school at least how I interpret it. How would you describe it? Because that's like a new concept. Like, because here, you know, most people here, we go to public school or private school, stuff like
really?
that.
Well, I guess the whole thing with sports school, and it's not indigenous to Sambo only. It could be fencing, swimming, chess. It could be whatever. Specialized school sport was quite normal because I guess outside it was one of the means of political conversation and proving which system is better, East versus West, communism versus socialism, or whatever. So we were always like programmed to compete for the country, you know, for to demonstrate that our lifestyle is better, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So when I started in Sambo City, they only did strictly Sambo. There was nothing else. I mean, later people will deviate into judo, but only Sambo was taught on the mats, you know. And for people that, you know, for listeners or for you guys, in case you just do not know, it's a giant academical complex where kids, boys and girls, used to be only boys, go to school and they study their subjects, whatever it might be, algebra, geometry, geography, whatever the case, and then they train as well. And now with groups and bounds as far as size, now they have girls as well, and now there are other sports in the complex taught outside of Sambo. There's judo. There's like even like some kind of like ballroom dancing and shit. You know, there's some weird ones as well, but Sambo, of course, and judo are the main ones.
Okay,
What's your
and
favorite?
you said what?
Is that what's his favorite?
Ballroom dancing. He should have been a ballroom dancer instead of a martial artist. Hold on, your connection's a little rough. Hold on. Can you hear him?
Yes, I know. I have full bars here, but somehow like it's a little rough. Not
Oh, I can hear you now. I can hear you now. Yeah, we're good.
Good.
So my question would be like, so you started off in martial arts, you kind of inherited from your family to some degree, and then what brought you to the United States? Like, what was your path?
So Russia in the 90s was a very wild place. You know, people talk about wild West, and I call Russia circa 90s wild East. It's impossible to jump from social centralized economy to truly capitalist economy within like a couple years or whatever. And so after the fall of Soviet Union and Soviet economics, by default, we jumped into this, you know, capitalist, so to speak, era. And it was very rough in the beginning, man. I don't know how people survived. Crime was rampaging over the country. Racketeering was very popular. So I had a friend who was bona fide rocket scientist. He designed, built, and tested rockets, you know. And he even died a couple times when experiments went to or whatever. And man is like brilliant. He's a bona fide genius, such a smart gosh darn man. And meanwhile, he lived in a 1-bedroom apartment, man. It was crazy. 1-bedroom apartment with his wife and 2 kids, you know. And when perestroika happened and there was different avenues of making money appear, he's like, you know what? I'm tired of living in a doghouse. Let me try my hands in business. And he started pretty a successful construction business. And one of his partners was kidnapped, brought like to the forest, hung upside down, beat, extorted. And my friend is like, you know what? I'm done here. I want a jet. And he went to the United States, you know, got his visa, green card, whatever. And he rooted in New Jersey. And he asked me to supervise, to house sit his home, so to speak, as he was in the process of moving business. I was not planning to stay initially. I just was like mowing his lawn. In the winter, I was looking his pipes down, etc. Things like that. He gave a bunch of checks written to a variety of realtors and electric companies, and I just put the numbers in and send them when they were due. So and no rent, best ever. And eventually, I got bored. I'm like, man, do something. And I started looking for places to train, and found a taekwondo place. And in that taekwondo place, I met my future nice wife. And the rest is history.
That's crazy. That's a wild ride. What was it like adjusting from like living, former Soviet Union to Russia to United States? Like, how did that affect you personally, mentally? Like, how was that transition like?
Yeah.
In the beginning, none whatsoever. American movies, American music, American culture are worldwide and very popular everywhere, including Russia. So, like, I had a pretty good grasp. Of course, some things were misunderstood, but for the most part, I had a grasp of American culture, customs, tradition, what's expected from me, what to expect from other people, and my English was was good. It got much better when I moved here, but I spoke pretty fluently without like stuttering and finding words. So I did not, and I was very cosmopolitan in mind, very open-minded, very non-traditionalist in any ways, or form. So it was easy. But unfortunately, because of my immigrant status, I could only stay here without going to Russia if I wanted to come back. And from 1996 to 2003, I was kind of stuck in the United States. And by the time I was able to legally travel, I was homesick a whole lot, and possibly there was the fact that I could not go there, but once I went back home a couple times, everything like shaken up and fell back into place. And like I'm a New Yorker made of Russian parts,
So you're here for good. You're here for good, basically.
Yeah. No intention to go back anymore. Although I had some intentions back like 15, 19 years ago. I'm good now. So yeah, no particular rough time or rough period. Like everything happened fairly organically and easy. No struggles.
Okay, that's good. I mean, so I'm gonna let you bring it up, but do you?
God. Yes, it's a 3-day camp with 5 lessons. 2 on Friday, beginning of the camp. 2 sessions on Saturday, and only 1 session on Sunday. As opposed to fusion curriculum, like Sambo techniques will be taught. Going to be throws, throws to submissions, like takedowns to subs, submissions, and variation thereof, like throw combinations, submission variations. I'm going to also interweave a lot of drilling time, because like everybody teaches techniques, but I want you to have like a taste of Russia, and I want you to have the most genuine training I can possibly introduce people to. So I'll be outside of techniques, I'll be teaching a lot of drills that will make you better grapple altogether. So like it's going to be very Sambo flavored.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for that, because I really, due to the pandemic, I really haven't been in the gym for the past year, but I got my shot, so I'll be ready to go soon. I've just been training with Jose in our basement area, but it'll be exciting because I remember it was like the week of the pandemic. Can you say that again?
Won't you guys come over to one of my Sambo Sundays or any? I said, won't you guys come over to train to one of my Sambo Sundays or any class for that matter?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm good to go. So I just got to get a ride out there. That's my only impediment, really, is getting a ride out there. But I know I'm excited because I remember the very last thing that I did before the pandemic, and this was in March 2019. Damn, it's been like 2 years. Anyway, but it was in 2019 or 2020? Damn, I'm like losing it. It was in 2020. 2020. It was we went to the Arnold's. We went to the Arnold Sports Festival, the Sambo tournament, and as soon as we got back was when the lockdown started. Like as soon as we got off as soon as I got off the train, like everything just like got locked down. You know, that's a tournament that we like to go to in Ohio, and go over there and compete. Actually, one of your guys was there. Yeah, one of your guys was there. So, yeah, I mean, I definitely want to get back to competing because, you know, primarily I do Jiu-Jitsu and Sambo competitions when it's available. Sambo a lot less frequently, but whenever it's around, I'll do it. But yeah, definitely. I really want to just get back in the gym, get back training, get back rolling, things of that nature, you know?
All right.
Oh, we're back.
Oh, crispy.
We're back in 4K HD.
Jesus Christ. Guys, sorry about that.
No, it's okay.
That's cool.
It's okay. We could edit it, so you know you'll look good.
Great.
Oh, now you kind of look like you ever play a fighting game when you have like a character you haven't unlocked yet?
I never played a single video game in my life.
What?
Because you fucking live it. That's why. Because you fucking live that shit.
Thank you, brother. Exactly.
I live it.
You live that shit.
No, so listen, guys. I grew up in a very frugal, not poor, not poverty-stricken, but a pretty. So it's funny because like Russians, right, or Soviets, we send the first man in space, first woman in space, first goddamn dog in space. But if you look like at our lifestyle, it's very frugal and very ascetic, you know. And even if you look, sometimes people send me like old Sambo footage.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's from the fucking 50s, and it's from the 80s. It just we did not use goddamn a black and white film only. I mean, they only use black and white as opposed to color film.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So when I was growing up, you know, we had one TV, black and white. And I was the remote control, you know, I was flipping that little thing.
Yeah.
We literally had like, maybe 2, 3, maybe 4 channels. I think 3. And so outside of cool stuff, like cartoons or whatever, all we did, we went outside and played Robin Hood, Pirates, whoever the fuck, Musketeers, you know.
Yeah.
I was like a monkey climbing trees all day, jumping off the roofs, and I just never developed the habit or appreciation for video games. If I was growing up nowadays, maybe it would have been different, but I did not.
Oh, don't start, because if you start, you know, I've seen people who've never played video games, and it's like once you pop, you can't stop. So maybe
they never want to look back.
Yeah.
You don't need any recovery time when you're playing video games.
Yeah. I mean, I do like entertainment. I like music and movies. It's just, just no video games.
What's your favorite movie?
Word. Salt.
What was after? So somebody said so. I have a couple favorite movies. I'll say 3. Okay. My favorite movie of all times is Snatch with Brad Pitt and Jason Statham.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Funny fact. Remember Gypsy wore that hat?
Yeah.
And a friend of mine actually ordered me that hat from England. I had to give him my measurement of my noggin in centimeters.
Yeah.
There's a guy that makes that Mickey the Gypsy hat, so I have that hat. So maybe I'll show you next time. Number 2 favorite movie, Apocalypto, by Mel Gibson's movie.
That was a good movie.
That was a great movie. Yeah, you know, usually with movies, no matter how good they are, I'll watch it once or maybe twice and I'm done. As opposed to music, I will listen forever.
Yeah.
But those 2 movies I mentioned, I can watch them over. Yes.
Is Snatch the movie where Brad Pitt has that really thick accent?
Yes, he's a gypsy.
Oh my God, yo!
He does the one-handed Twitter.
Yes,
the one-handed knockout.
If you haven't seen it, watch it. That movie is great.
You know what I like? I'll give you 4 movies. Forrest Gump. That's another.
Okay, classic.
I can start from the beginning. I can start in the middle, but it's a great movie, man. So well done. And there is a Russian movie, guys. I highly recommend. If you want to like dwell and understand mentality of a Russian officer of a Tsarist army before communism, the movie is called Siberian Barber. I think it won some kind of like bunch of awards. And believe it or not, main character, one of the main characters is an American girl. So majority of conversation is done in English anyway.
Yeah.
Great movie, Siberian Barber. Highly recommend.
Oh, that's good. So as for on the music side, why is Britney Spears your favorite artist?
Wait, what?
He's just joking, Lois. No. Listen, I don't want to be like an elitist or whatever. There is a video, and Edwin, I can share it with you. It's about 20-minute video or so, maybe 15. And they scientifically, well, I should not be quoting because it's scientifically, they go over the fact how music sucks more and more over last 20 years. There's like only 2 people responsible for writing lyrics and beats for a plethora of popular artists.
Yeah.
And he goes over, it's quite entertaining because like by instinct, I don't want to be like unique by the, just by that thought of being unique. But I don't like pop music, man. It does not speak to my heart, And apparently there's a scientific reason why. Generally, I'm pretty all-inclusive. I like some old school R&B and rap. Yes, I like metal, man. Like I grew up on metal. I like classic rock from the 70s.
Okay.
And there is a genre currently in rock called stoner rock. And it's pretty much like extension of the 70s, only done like in modern times. I love that genre. And it's awesome, man. Like pretend like Led Zeppelin, Black Sabbath, or whatever. All those like 70s bands.
Classics, okay.
The way they would have sounded right now.
Yeah.
And another, guys, that genre is so awesome, and it's very fun to train. And Edwin, you might have heard that those bands when you visited KGA.
Yeah, I did.
The genre is called synthwave or retro wave or retro synthwave.
Yeah, that's like really picking up steam, particularly like there are a lot of synthwave sort of mixes on YouTube and things like that. That's like picking up.
Modern bands, they try to sound like they belong in an 80s sci-fi soundtrack,
Yeah.
It's so awesome. It's very upbeat, very like captivating, and I'm the child of the 80s, so it speaks to me on more than one level, and it's a great training music. And within in its own turn, synthwave comes in a bunch of little subdivisions as well. Some of it more like romantic, some of it like poppy, some of it more sci-fi. And sometimes you listen and like, God damn, it could be like a soundtrack for a romantic movie, and the other one could be soundtrack for Terminator,
Yeah.
So those are styles of music I enjoy nowadays.
Okay.
Of course, yeah. A lot of.
You said and what?
A lot of classical music.
Oh, okay. Okay. You got to balance it out with some Beethoven, Mozart.
Yeah. Not too much. I will not like some jazz too, man. I like jazz. The Miles Davis, man. Wayne Shorter. I like fusion. There's that band that Wayne Shorter played for called Weather Report. Jaco Pastorius played bass. That's what a badass jams they play. Nature of jazz is improvisation pretty much. And nature of fusion is kind of like jazz music, but with layers and layers of arrangement, Sometimes pure improvisation gets a little bit iffy, I guess. But like when I have a lot of like ornaments and little vignettes around, that's what captivates me. So I like that band, Parliament. I like funk. It just like country I don't like much, I guess.
Yeah, I mean that kind of seems like. You said what?
I said yeah, fuck country and pop.
Yeah, for each their own. But I'm not trying to be elitist. Music either speaks to me or it does not speak to me.
Yeah. Even on the country wave, it's like, we grew up in New York, so like no one listens to country, but like the country I was exposed to was like the news, sort of like it was like real corny. But when you listen to like older stuff, it's actually not that because it's like Johnny Cash, like it's actually like good music, and you could see its relationship with like blues and jazz and rock and roll. There's like a huge overlap, but like the new stuff, and it's like easy. Oh yeah, the new stuff. The new stuff is so corny. Oh my god, especially like the country guys who are like trying to rap now. Oh man, it's so bad. It's so bad. Oh no.
Yes.
Oh no. I mean, Old Town Road is okay, but like everything else is like
Old Town Road is okay.
It's all right. I mean, it's catchy, but it's all right.
Reggae, man. Reggae is another good music to sometimes music will set the
tone.
The tone in the gym, right? And I mean, I can roll and wrestle to Slayer, but goddamn, sometimes you play reggae and everybody just take like a step down. Everybody jives and like I love reggae too. And at first, it was just Bob Marley. I was fairly indifferent to a genre. I just worship Bob Marley. He is such a prolific a songwriter.
Yeah.
Such a colossus in peace movement, such a hippie at heart, Jamaican hippie. But then by default, I started to listen to other artists, and now I pretty much appreciate the whole genre, There is even heavy metal reggae as well. Yes, there is.
Yeah. I mean, that's funny because music does set the tone in the gym. Because I know at Steve's gym, that's like the primary gym that I train at. He'll play like blues. He'll play rock. He'll play old school hip hop like KRS-One, stuff like that. And it does set the mood.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and listen again. Like my gym is not self-serving thing. I want to serve my people. So sometimes I go to certain places and they play the same type of music over and over and fucking over all the time again. And I try to I alternate because I need to please my students. It's otherwise I'll be listening to my shit all day long.
Oh, we could put in requests. Oh, that's cool. Okay,
absolutely, man. Yes,
but like what?
Requests.
All right, but what if someone's like, "Yo, let's put on some Bruno Mars right now"? Like, how do you feel about that?
Oh, some K-pop.
Yeah. How do you feel about that?
Who's Bruno Mars?
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
no, I'm just joking. I know who he is. There is another little genre of music. It's called Japanese city pop. Oh my god, this is so awesome! It's great music, man.
J-pop, yeah, J-pop is very
very groovy, man. Like good music, very listenable.
That's cool. That's cool. I know. Hey, oh man,
no. I'm curious. You said you had a few kids. Are any of them old enough to be fighters? Are any of them interested in moving in that direction?
I saw a girl fighting on Instagram the other day.
My youngest daughter trains Jiu-Jitsu and Sambo. My two oldest girls. So my ex, for some weird reason, my ex-wife was against my daughter's doing martial arts, which is kind of ironic because that's how her and I met. We met in a place or whatever, and she was somehow very much against it, and I was tired of fighting. So, but they still athletes. One daughter, they both did gymnastics. Now, my oldest does equestrian. She actually went to school for equestrian science. The girl loves horses.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, middle one still does gymnastics, and my youngest one does gymnastics and martial arts. I try not to live vicariously through them. It's honestly like whatever they like, even if I don't care. If there is passion in them, then I support it.
Oh man, the weirdest thing is that when you're at a tournament and let's say there's a tournament with kids and there's like parents in the background just screaming at their kids, like bro, I promise you it's not that big a deal.
I will not lie to you. Sometimes when I'm teaching classes, I'm like, why the fuck can't you do the same shit I do? Of course I don't say it out loud.
Like why aren't you good?
Your left leg from your right leg, for Christ's sake. But then I catch myself. I'm like, why am I being such an asshole, man? This is time to bond with my daughter and other kids. This is time for them to shine and enjoy themselves. Like you gotta, take it down a notch a little bit. But I'm good enough to catch it. I'm good enough to nip it in the bud when I get those impatient thoughts.
Yeah, definitely.
How is it moving from like athlete to like teacher / coach? I don't know if there's something seamless. I don't know if in your world you guys are constantly teaching, but
right.
I feel like you have to think differently when you're training, you're competing versus when you become a teacher.
Listen, great question. When I started, false modesty aside, I might not be the best sambist or whatever, but my pedigree is like super legit. The way we trained, and I was the best of my class, etc., etc. So there is certainly a lot of knowledge, a lot of wisdom, and not from only training as a kid, but like throughout life. Mm-hmm. When I started to teach about 20 years ago, I took a lot of things for granted. I took a lot of things for granted. I was young too, and I would be intuitively expect people to know things that they have no idea. And I'll be kind of short and short fused and impatient. And it took a long time. It took about 10 years to appreciate and understand that not everybody has the same starting point. Not everybody has the same tendencies, same habits, and same abilities,
Mm-hmm.
And so patience showed up, ability to express technique a certain way and deliver it, because you can be as cerebral as you want, but people will not get it. You know what I'm saying? So you have to find that little trigger, that little hole through which you can stop the technique in somebody's brain, you know. And some techniques are so goddamn hard to teach, like Uchimata, you know what I'm saying? Very often with Uchimata, people either get it or they don't.
You kind of have, it's like a feel. Like, it's
No
one of those
matter how
things.
much I explain, it just does not. So I try to explain and cerebralize to the best of my ability. And sometimes you throw like a little personal experience, like, oh, do not do that, guys. Do not, you know, like do not learn learn from my mistakes. Don't make your mistakes. And if you make mistakes, makes your own, you know. And throw some like cultural references, some kind of historical reference, a little joke, a little mnemonic like fishing rod, you know what I'm saying? Nose over toes or whatever. And coaching style, of course, has developed over a decade into what I currently am, you know. But in the beginning, I'm like, just do it like this, you know.
Yeah, I noticed when I was at your gym. What did we do? I think we did Vertushka, which is like the arm spin move.
Correct.
And the way you described it, I forgot exactly what sort of anecdote you used, but you used something like pulling, like
it's like
when like a chainsaw or something. Like,
no, it's when you have like a heavy rock attached to a rubber. So
Vertushka, that was it.
Does not kick in right away, as opposed to, let's say, a foot sweep or Tayatoshi when you trip and the guy goes. Vertushka, because it's a longer grip, until I rotate, I have to eliminate some slack. And once the slack is eliminated, people get catapulted. So imagine you pulling a rock on a rubber band, and at first it's like, what the hell is going on? This rubber goes and goes until the tension is expired, and then rock gets catapulted. So some throws based on a principle. You have to rotate yourself in, eliminate that 2 arms length, mine and his, and once I get in contact, that's when people get launched. So that was the analogy I used.
Okay. Like when you're, so I'm curious, right? So like when you're sort of coming up with a way to teach something, is it sort of on the fly? Is it something you think about it? Do you write it down and take notes? Like, what is your sort of method?
What is your lesson planning practice?
Or do you lesson plan? Yeah. Do you even lesson plan? Or is
yes, I do lesson plan. So when I ran my other academy with my first wife called Ultimate Sambo, I taught self-defense and striking as well. So outside of Sambo, a mix of Sambo and Jiu-Jitsu, I taught striking and self-defense. I kind of went away from that. I can explain later if you want, but now I teach pure grappling, and I have a bi-weekly curriculum. So I have like about 10 subjects I cover, and I will take them one after one. Once in a blue moon, I throw something that's not there, and I dedicate 2 weeks to one topic. So let's say half guard, right? Half guard. So within 2 weeks, we'll go over a bunch of attacks from half guard, sweeps and submissions and stuff. And same thing with passing, same thing with throws, front headlocks, whatever the case might be. I do plan my lesson. As far as those little anecdotes and little metaphors and such, some of them are born on the fly. It's just like something like comes in my brain, and it usually it works. And other times I have to write things down. Sometimes I drive in a car and like brilliant, or at least in my head, brilliant idea visits me. And I have to bust out my iPhone, put on a voice memo, and record something, you know. And I often, when I line up people after class, I will address something. And sometimes it's on the fly. I notice something like a pattern of behavior or technique or whatever, and I just like to address. And other times I do it on purpose. Like I'm like, you know what? Today we have to address mental toughness or progress or skill acquisition, you know, or
okay.
And all those things I address for the entire class after practice.
That's awesome. Okay.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah.
Thank you. So yeah, partially it's on the fly and partially it's premeditated.
It's like jazz.
Yes, exactly. Like jazz and fusion. It's
like jazz. I think it's like the common thread in your life based on this hour conversation. I think I could distill your whole life, you know, based on, you know, using my intellect and absorbing everything. I think your genre, this is the genre of person that you are. You're I don't know what it, I'm going to create a word, Fusionist. You're a fusionist.
Listen, Edwin, you nailed it. I'm a fusionist, all right.
You're a fusionist. See, you guys thought I was going to be stupid, but it wasn't. Okay. Yeah, I saw your face. You're like, what the fuck is he talking about? See, it wasn't stupid.
Yeah. I guess it goes back to Bruce Lee. Not that I'm a fan or whatever.
Like
I don't know how good of a competitor he was, but I like the philosophy. Adopt what's useful and disengage from what's not useful.
Yeah, that's awesome because it's like you integrated the experience so you came from the East to the West, right? You were a martial artist, but you also were able to integrate that into being an actor, starting a construction business. Like you're like a Russian Da Vinci. It's like
Renaissance man. Well,
Renaissance
construction thing, I could have lived without it, man. It just happened by default. My neighbor was in construction.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, would you like to help me? I'm like, you know what? I have a free summer. Maybe I'll learn a new trade. That was back in 96. And then rewind 25 years later, I'm still climbing roofs and putting shingles down.
Oh, absolutely.
But you know what? It's very satisfactory. But nothing against new generation, but a lot of people want to be a white collar worker or lawyer or whatever the fuck, But dude, it's so satisfactory and so fulfilling to work with your hands because it's very hard, believe me. But you go to the job site in the morning, and when you get down, you're like, you know what? In the morning, that thing was not there, and now it's there because I built it.
You built it, yeah.
Yeah, it feels very nice.
It's tangible. It is tangible.
So when zombie apocalypse comes, boys, you're gonna need me to roof your shit,
No, that is true. That is true.
You need your Sambo.
Hey, we all zombies here. We can defend, but we need we need other smart people in the group. We need hunters. We need somebody who can run, who knows how to run a sewer plant. Actually, for a couple years, I tried that. I was operating a wastewater plant. And
oh wow, okay.
Water plant. And dude, this is such a complex industry. You'd never know. You think you poop or whatever, and you flash in his gun. But there's so many things that happen with wastewater. It's crazy. To me, believe it or not, it's one of the true signs of a developed society. The way the sewage
a plumbing system.
Plumbing, yes, sir. Plumbing.
Yeah,
civilizations have fallen, or like widespread disease. Was it?
Yeah. Because they had Black Death.
They had just terrible,
all of that,
terrible sewage system. Yeah,
I mean that's what happens when you shit in the bucket and throw it out your front door.
Yeah, they'll do exactly, man. So yes, that was 2 years of my life. I trying to run away from construction. I work for a water plant and wastewater.
That's just crazy. Like life is just so random because I remember growing up and I grew up here and the story that America sells you in regards to I guess the trajectory of the American life, and then when you got out into it, it's man, everything is unfair. Everybody's out to. I feel like you're safe until you hit 18, man. And the second you hit 18, it's the vultures are out.
Yeah,
everybody's trying to scam on you, scheme on you.
Credit card.
And then it's you think your life is gonna go this way, and it's just you end up with so many random careers. I've had so many random careers, and I'm only 32, and it's I still don't know where life is gonna go. I have a general idea of the direction I'm gonna take. I want to take things, but it's everything that I've gotten now. I mean, it's been about being persistent, but the opportunities were they came up because I attacked at them enough times, and then something eventually popped up.
Exactly. Man, it's kind of hard to get there. I mean, maybe you fellas have a different experience in life, but in my experience, hard work usually does not get you that much far ahead, man.
At all, it's smart work.
Yeah, we gotta scam. We gotta learn kung fu and scam.
To a lack of sleep, stress, breaking up relationships, not paying attention to your kids, and you're always chasing this goddamn dollar, man. Mm-hmm. And but unless you born into wealth somehow. It's so hard to get away, I mean, I'm not saying be lazy and don't work, but I think that American dream is a bit of a carrot, we're being teased with, Maybe I'm wrong, but that's what I noticed.
It's to get you to fall in place.
Yeah.
It's 100% a carrot, man. Like it's 100% a carrot. That's like the best way to describe it.
Dude, I noticed like I still work hard, but when I stopped fucking chasing, when I stopped obsessing, like and kind of step back a little bit and looked at my life as a whole. So you see, like life is like a pizza. It's not my metaphor. It's actually my friend. So there's one slice for everything. Slice for training, slice for your girlfriend or wife, slice for friends, slice for work. So it's all supposed to be organic and equally measured. But once you start taking 2 slices for work or whatever, or you know what I'm saying, and none for training,
It's unequal.
yes, that's when shit takes left turn. So that's when I try to reorganize my life pizza and put everything in perspective. And my God, my stress has melted away. It's so much easier to manage, you know.
Yeah.
But it only happened in my 40s, you know. Up to 40s, it's like chase.
That's honestly how I feel, like chasing all the time. And like I've started to develop a few more.
No, you muted yourself.
You muted yourself, DK.
Yeah.
You
Oh, my
decided to
fault.
stop chasing this conversation.
Well, like I'm thinking about work specifically, because like with work, like recently I've had to learn how to be very, very guarded with like my time and things like that, just because like I've had employers in the past that have definitely taken advantage, I guess, of my enthusiasm or my like, you know, desire to, you know, want to like produce something. But not just that, you know, I've gotten in a serious relationship the last few years, so you know I got to make time for that, and that's always time. And then like, you know, I'm in my 30s. In a few years, I like to start a family. And, you know, I'm just thinking about, well, what do I got to do now to prepare for that? Like, you know, what if something randomly pops up out of nowhere? You never know. But I don't know, man. It's just like, I feel like every day I'm getting a little bit more of a hang of life. But, man, it's just so difficult to get that balancing act together.
It comes with wisdom and years, man. It does come.
And good friends like us, DK.
So, and I'm probably going to talk to you more, you know, if you have the time, a little bit more off camera at a different time. But I think we're at a good spot. I want to thank you for coming on.
Thank you, guys.
Absolutely.
It's a pleasure talking to all of you.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
definitely, I didn't expect to like give life lessons. You know. I think it's particularly when you mentioned about because you know you hear the trajectory of your life and you know how your life has changed, you know how many phases you've moved through, and then what really resonated with me is you in particular talking about balancing your life and not always chasing. I think it's good if you're maybe predisposed to it, but I think it's something that I struggle with, right? Because in my life, I've always been the type of person that sort of coast. So I was on the other extreme. You know, I really didn't start working hard in anything, period, until like my 20s. So it's like I was lucky enough to somehow make it through life. I mean, I don't know. I hit the lottery. I had decent parents.
Awesome, bro. So listen, we all have different paths. You know, like imagine that life is a mountain, right? And a mountain has 4 slopes. You can use south slope, east slope, west slope. So long you get to the summit, man, it's fine. Makes it beautiful and unpredictable, you know. See how cookie crumbles differently with different walks of life. I love it.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
Words.
Yeah, I'm trying not to overcorrect because I find myself trying to overcorrect. So I'm like, I used to be here and now I'm like over here. And I think maybe at some point I'll be the wise Vlad. I'll reach enlightenment, and you know,
it's
be that guy.
You guys look like you straight boys and you have like your shit figured out.
Oh,
No,
We're good actors.
Well, I don't. Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know about these 2 characters, but me, I'm on the straight and narrow. I don't know about them, but you know.
Good. That's awesome.
But yeah, thank you, Vlad. Do you have anything that you want to plug before we move on?
Just sign up or subscribe to my Instagram. I don't post selfies and dumb shit. It's always it's always good stuff.
It's nothing straight kung fu. That's it.
Yeah. Subscribe to my online library. Honestly, false modesty aside, it's a good resource. And that's about it, man.
Yeah, absolutely. The great Vlad Koulikov. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. My pleasure.
Thank you. And that's the base.